What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else who clicked on this video just because you saw a turbo? Today, we're going to talk about turbos. So there's a lot of different types of turbos out there on the market that you can purchase. There's cheap ones, there's expensive ones, there's kits, there's individuals. We're going to discuss a little bit today about why you would want to buy a turbo kit from Z1 Motorsports as opposed to some of these other avenues that you can get them. Turbo Supercore from Garrett, which is what this is right here. Essentially, you're going to get a compressor housing, a center cartridge, and you seem to be missing a few pieces here. You're not going to get an exhaust housing. You're going to have to order that separately depending on what application you want to use it for. So that's an additional cost that you'll have to factor in there. You'll have to make sure you select the correct one. And let's just face it, this doesn't look like it's ready to go on your Z32. It's got a large compressor inlet that's kind of universal in design. Same thing with the outlet, universal in design. We have some fittings here that we don't have available. It's just not ready to go on the car. So that leads me into the number of other things that we at Z1 Motorsports do to make these turbos ready to go onto your car. So let's take a look at these Z1 turbos. Let's start with the most obvious thing that's visibly up front on these. That's going to be the compressor inlet flange. Every one of these turbos has a 2-bolt flange design that's going to allow your factory compressor inlets from your Z32 to bolt directly up to this, so you don't have to worry about coming up with some sort of magical coupler that's going to attach to the front of this turbo that we didn't have set up properly. In addition to that, we're also going to have the compressor and turbine housings pre-clocked for you. So that way it's going to be a nice smooth install on the vehicle. So in addition to clocking these, that's going to change the angle of the wastegate arm on most of these turbos. So we provide a custom-made bracket that's going to position the wastegate actuator in exactly the right location. That way you can get full extension on that wastegate arm without having any interference with any other parts. So in addition to that wastegate arm, we also provide a metal turbo drain line. This metal turbo drain line is the result of many years of development in these turbo kits for the Z32. We tried full silicone for a while. We tried factory drain lines for a while. We tried a lot of different setups until we settled on this one. We've got a metal elbow to clear the tight radius of the steering knuckle on one side, as well as the oil filter tree on the other. That's going to make sure you've got plenty of clearance there without any rubbing. All of our larger than factory ball bearing turbos feature a thick front compressor inlet flange with a machined O-ring groove in the front side. We also use a Viton O-ring that can be used over and over again as long as it's not damaged. For our turbos that have larger than factory compressor outlets that are not able to use the factory outlet flange, we also have custom made couplers to allow these to fit up to your factory piping. So these are just some of the features that you'll see on the Z1 turbos themselves, but that's just what comes on the physical units. Along with our Z1 turbos, you're going to get a lovely basket of joy to go along with it. With the journal bearing style turbos, you're going to get factory oil feed lines for driver and passenger side. You're going to get new copper crush washers for all the coolant and oil lines for the banjo fittings. You're going to get good quality factory compressor inlet flanges. You're also going to get thick metal turbine outlet gaskets. These are going to be good quality gaskets, not those thin, flimsy little aluminum foil gaskets you'll get with some cheaper quality turbos, or even just come factory with the turbos sometimes. So we've put our good quality ones in there. The compressor outlets as well are a metal compression gasket that's going to seal up nice and good. Factory turbo drain line gaskets. Nice thick metal turbine gaskets as well. Similarly, for the ball bearing turbos, you're going to get a nice bag of install hardware. It's going to include the same copper crush washers for the coolant lines as the factory setup. In this one, you're going to get braided stainless steel oil feed lines along with metal restrictors for those new ball bearing turbos. You're also going to get reinforced silicone coolant hose to run to the coolant lines to and from the turbos, as well as new vacuum line to run straight to your wastegates, also our Z1 high quality reinforced hose. You are also going to get the thick exhaust gaskets to go with these on the turbine inlet and outlets. You're also going to get a compressor outlet gasket to go along with it as well. Most of these will have the O-ring front flange, so with the ball bearings you will not get the compressor inlet gasket, but we've got you taken care of with a better product. Hopefully this video answered a lot of common questions that we get from you guys calling in about our turbo kits. If you have any questions that we did not address here, you can always give us a call, send us an email, or just leave a comment in the video below. We'll be posting more videos in the next coming weeks, addressing more details about these. So like and subscribe and keep following us.